So I'd like to call the meeting to order for our June 27th meeting of the Dennet Elementary School Committee.
Thank you.
We have no visitors in the audience today, so I'd like to look at the minutes from our meeting from May 23rd. I do have one correction. Under the legislative agent, the guidance was that we are allowed to take stands on certain topics. We just can't use school resources to push our agenda either way. But we can take stances as a committee on certain ballot initiatives and policies moving forward. Other than that, I saw no issues. Entertain a motion to accept with the revision.
I have a motion to accept the May 25th, 2016 minutes as written. Besides that.
Okay. Do I have a second? All right, all those in favor? Aye. All right, thank you very much. I don't know of any school committee correspondence, Ms. Blackwood?
Other than the water treatment, which we can talk about under unfinished.
Excellent. So, under new business, we have playground safety, accessibility, and modernization. Earlier this year, when we were starting to lay out our game plan for town meeting, we were asked by the Finance Committee to look into the future a little bit and devise some big capital needs we saw the Dennet may be requiring moving forward. We're very lucky to have the town support our initiative to move forward with the security system. And now we're looking into the future at our next step, which is the playground and the grounds around the Dennet Elementary School. Mr. Veneto and I have already been in discussions about this. We're going to try and not reinvent the wheel on any of these ideas. We're going to visit some local schools and talk to principals who have been through this process lately. Gather some ideas, try and get some numbers together, and maybe arrange some site visits here at the school so we can start getting an idea or what the cost is going to look like. Superintendent Blackwood did bring up the fact that we have some resources available to us budgetarily from the school choice students we've had over the years. I know John has been interested in approaching the CPA about maybe coming up with some funds that way too. And we've also talked to Finance Committee about maybe having some capital expenses come out. We don't want the playground to impact our operation budget, and we don't foresee that at this time, and that's going to be kind of the spirit we move forward with. Peter, Superintendent Blackwood, did you have anything to add?
No, I think the playground hasn't been updated in quite a while. And so it is sorely in need, and I'm excited at the prospect of putting all the resources together and hopefully being able to provide some much needed updates for our students.
Absolutely. Any comments?
No, I think it's great. We definitely need some updates on it. So.
Great. So we're just at the initial stages, and hopefully Peter and I will be able to report something back by our September meeting.
Sure.
I know that John had mentioned that it was in the fall, that we need some numbers to go to CPA.
Okay.
So we're going to do some homework over the summer, and we'll get back to you.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. Under unfinished business, we have the water treatment update, and we have some news to share tonight.
We do. I'm going to let Pete go with it.
Oh, thank you. I did see Mr. Garrett Keegan today. He presented me with the information that we need moving forward with the water treatment. I had to sign a couple of documents just so that somebody from the school had some accountability, and he plans on sending that to DEP tomorrow. Hopefully things will move quickly because they've already had many pre-conversations about his plan, so hopefully this should be really starting to move quickly. I gave Mr. Fraser a copy of the very thick packet of his report, so make sure we get another set of eyes on that, and should be moving in the right direction.
Excellent. Once we have that approval from the Department of Environmental Protection, is that when we can start to move forward with the process of putting the actual build out to bid? Christine?
I believe that's what will be happening. My understanding of the pricing on that is that it may not even meet the threshold of having to go out to bid. We may need to be in a position to get 3 quotes.
Okay.
And that could move along a lot quicker if we could make that happen.
Great, thank you. Just wanted that for timeline's sake, so people can know where we are with that process. All right, thank you very much. Any updates on the breakfast program or
I'd-
school lunch?
No updates on either one, other than they were both a success. I think we made some good changes that really were very helpful at this point in time. I don't have any of the end-of-the-year numbers at this point, but I'm confident that the changes were positive, and I think especially the breakfast program, based on the success at Dennet, we're going to start a breakfast program in Halifax next year. So you
Fantastic.
sort of laid the groundwork, so we're excited about that.
Excellent. So we'll go on to the reports from standing committees. Was there an admin review?
No,
Okay. Negotiations?
no meeting.
Union 31?
We need to have a meeting scheduled, but we'll need to go out to bid on a couple of items and a little later this summer.
Yes.
A little later this summer.
The PAC update, we had our last meeting of the year where we finalized the budget. I'm very happy to say, after a lot of work with their administrative team, their increases came in under the 5% threshold. That is their aim. Unfortunately, it came at the expense of some loss of positions through attrition and through reduction in force. There's actually 14 staff members who will not be returning to the collaborative next year. It just goes to show again, when it really comes down to the nuts and bolts, we are personnel-driven organizations, and to make those numbers reality, we had to impact the lives of 14 people. Other than that, the PAC's in good shape moving forward. Policy,
No meeting, but we'll need one scheduled for the fall.
capital improvement, I think what we covered about the playground falls
Absolutely.
under capital improvement. And under legislative agent, the only update I have to bring is that the state is having problems getting its budget together. The governor actually had to extend the fiscal year budget by 1 month by putting in a supplementary budget because they don't believe they're going to be done by July 1,
Wow.
which has not happened in quite some time. Their revenue projections are off dramatically.
Okay.
So don't know how that's going to impact us. I'll let you know if I find out anything.
Excellent.
All right, principals report.
This is by far the shortest principal's report of the year, which is not a bad thing either. We finished the year at 221 students. The only real important date that I have that folks need to know about is July 25th. We have our next school committee meeting. But I did just want to take a quick moment to thank CASA, to thank all the parents that helped out at grade 6 moving on night. We finished the year strong, and again, it's the parent involvement that really makes this place, along with the hard work of the teaching staff, makes it a good cohesive unit. So it was a great end of the school year.
Any questions for Mr. Linda? Thank you very much, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's,
All right. We're on to you now, Christine.
actually, that's.
Thank you. I would just wanted to say, I think the meeting's going to be the 18th.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
That's what we were just
Yeah, we
saying.
had
Yeah.
to do it because of the town's limitations on that timeline. So we'll be gathering on the 18th. I know this is the part you've been waiting for, the financial, so I'm gonna make it as exciting as I can. We have a few days left of the year. That's where we are. We're doing pretty well so far.
Do you have the financials, Christine? We don't seem to have them in our packets.
I just had the one that was given to me.
Do you have a financial?
Yes, they're at the end.
Not in ours.
Oh, no, that's May. Nope, I apologize.
We apparently,
I didn't realize that. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I didn't know
Lisa
I
must
didn't know
not
they
have
were
had
in the
packets. Yeah, she must not have gotten the
Christine.
packets.
Give us your.
Give us a full, okay, there we go.
Anything that we have questions about?
You don't even need to look at it.
Perfect.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
As I said, we have just a few days left. Our close-up meeting will be on July 18th. And as of right now, there are no areas of really concern or surprise. I just wanted to bring a couple of things to your attention. There have been a couple of teachers out on long-term leave this year. So we have a surplus in the teaching line, but then we have the corresponding deficit in the substitute line, which does exist, and that doesn't always happen at Dennet. We have not expended any funds for homeless transportation this year, so you'll see there'll be a slight surplus for that. We have approximately $3,000, that's what we had built into the budget. We have had some savings in our utilities. Between the utilities, approximately $14,000 savings. And hopefully that will help us get through next year, because next year both our electric and gas are gonna go down. So we built a little one, but it looks like that could be helpful to us. There are a few areas where things aren't going quite so well. One of the areas that we're still looking at is special education. We are awaiting our final invoices and then our final circuit breaker payment. And it's just tough that until we get that, we don't have that final picture. We have an idea where we're gonna be. But for within the budget, all the areas that have been a little unsettling have been taken care of by the areas where things have gone pretty well this year. So we will end the year, we will end it within our budget.
Always a good thing.
And that's all.
That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
That was the
Christine.
exciting report.
There we go.
Any questions, Christine? Thank you very much, Christine. Chrissy?
Sure. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the updated grants list that you can find in your packet for this year. In your packet, you'll find the grant summaries for the 2015-2016 school year. And the first page is a comparison over the past 10 years. You'll notice that there appears to have been a peak for the grants in the 2011 school year, yet over the past 5 years, our grant funding has decreased, which is true in most districts. So just to take note of that. We still are above the amount from 10 years ago, but as you can see, there was a bit of a peak and then it has decreased. On page 2, I'd like to point out to you where you can see the specific allocations for each grant that there is listed an E-rate Category 2 grant that is new this year. E-rate typically provided discounted rates for telecommunication services. Just this year, a new category within E-rate has been established to support the technology infrastructure within the buildings. There are other grants listed that I'd like to just tell you a little bit about how they're used. The first two listed are the 240 and 262 special education grants. Those are used to fund specific personnel within the districts. We also received the Special Education 274 grant, which is used for professional development. This year, it was in the area of social emotional. For example, the social thinking professional development was funded through this grant. We also rely on the teacher quality, otherwise known as the Title IIA grant, for funding such things as our new teacher induction program, which is our mentoring program, our ed leaders within the elementary schools, on-site graduate courses, conferences, and workshops. Also, our Title I grant provides direct services for students as well as our summer school offerings. So if you have any questions or suggestions on how we use these funds, please feel free to contact me. On the last page in the packet, this highlights many donations and outside grants that teachers and staff have been awarded this year. This year, our staff have increased the amount received by almost $100,000 over last year's amount. While our state grant allocations are decreasing, our teachers are working hard to supplement this funding by outside resources. This includes donations from Donors Choose, picture proceeds from Life Touch, Target, Hannaford's, and much more. So I just want to commend our teachers for the hard work that they're doing. While some of our funding is decreasing, they are recognizing the need for the wonderful enrichment and are looking for other sources. So that's all I have for you.
Definite work above and beyond what they're expected to do in
Absolutely.
their classroom day in and day out. And some of these grants take profound amounts of work. It's nice to see that there's some avenues for grant work now that's making it a lot more user-friendly, both for the people who want to donate, but also for the teachers who are asking.
Yes,
But thank you very much for this information. Is there any
absolutely.
question? Our Assistant Superintendent?
Thanks.
Then I'd like to welcome our superintendent back to country.
Came back, it wasn't easy.
I hope the wedding was wonderful
It
and memorable
was.
for you and your family.
It was
And,
wonderful, thank you.
Mrs. Blackwood, the stage is yours.
Thank you. So I just wanted to just very briefly touch on the FY17 budget. We will begin spending that as of July 1. We are also, just so you remember, implementing a new accounting system, which we purchased, will be rolling down to all the elementary schools. Believe it or not, in the elementary schools, we've been using still the triple copy
Carbon copies.
carbon copy POs. on the elementary schools. So Gail and Peter and Christine and all of us have gone through training, and we're actually moving into the correct century, and we'll be doing it online, and Peter will be able to access our totals. So we're really excited about moving forward, but it's been a huge transition for us, and I especially want to thank Christine and Melanie Capasso, who's our accountant at our office, because I cannot begin to tell you how much work this is. It is a huge, huge undertaking. So we're excited, but also have a little bit of trepidation, because it's going to be a very big change for us. So, but the budget's in place. I want to thank the towns for voting to accept our budgets at town meeting. There was no discussion. They fully supported it, and we greatly appreciate the town's support. We came in with a good budget, and I think we're going to have a great year next year. So don't have any concerns about that. In terms of new hires, just to sort of follow up, I think we've mentioned this, but to replace Betty James, who was a long-term third grade teacher, we have hired Jane Marie Sylvester, who filled in this year as a long-term sub for Betty. She did a fantastic job. As a matter of fact, I watched her leaving at every school committee meeting. She was always one of the last ones here and worked really hard this year. So we're absolutely thrilled that she'll be able to join us next year. And I think we had one other aide leave, if I remember correctly, Mr. Benito, Ali Shally,
Yes,
got a job in another school district.
yes, she's going to be teaching grade 5 in Plymouth.
Right. And I think, am I correct that that's, art teacher.
I have 2 more.
2 more, that's right. So our art teacher, Patrice Kelly, has left, and
Catherine Holmes.
Catherine Holmes is our, I've been doing nothing but hiring. And we've hired Catherine Holmes, who will be starting for us. So we're excited that she'll be able to join us. And let me think, who else
The
did we?
nurse.
The nurse, I knew that. Oh gosh,
Renee
Chloanne. Yeah, Chloanne Surratt left us. Chloanne has been wonderful. Just an absolutely lovely addition to our staff. She has just truly added a gentle touch to our district, and really appreciate all that she offered for us. And we'll have Renee Smith will be joining us. So for Dennet, that's a pretty huge turnover. So we're excited. We have some great new people coming, but I really do want to thank all of our veteran staff who put in many years of dedicated service to us. You have the updated meeting schedule, and I did just want to remind you again, the next meeting is July 18th, which is a little bit out of sequence, and the committee voted to move all of the school committees next year to 5 o'clock. So just so you know, for PAC, it'll be 5 o'clock for all the school committee meetings going forward to accommodate people's work schedule. And then the reorganizational chart is attached, and it was a really difficult one to make those changes because we had to take all the names from one column and move them over, but I think we got it right. So that's all I had.
Any questions or comments for the superintendent?
I think you set a new record.
There's
Yes.
no need for an executive
There is
session.
no need for an executive session.
So I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Wow.
Wow.
Come on.
I won't tell. I will not
you
toast
won't.
Steph.
And I know he's not gonna watch this.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
You do.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank you.